Friends, we are now living in times where the focus is happily shifting from financing infrastructure projects to managing their execution and implementation with far more rigor than previously. Welcome to this edition of Infravisioning, where we discuss the shift in emphasis from measures to increase financing capacity to measures to far better manage project implementation and project execution. The last 3 decades of Indian infrastructure have seen struggles and strident efforts to raise capital and raise financing to build the infrastructure projects that the country needs. Towards this end, not only were budgetary outlays stepped up, but a slew of financial institutions were set up. The earliest was the Infrastructure Leasing and Financial Services in 1987. The next was the Infrastructure Development Finance Corporation, a company incorporated in 1997. Then came the India Infrastructure Finance Company in 2006, the National Infrastructure and Investment Fund in 2015, and very recently, in 2021, the DFI, the Developmental Financial Institution for Infrastructure, the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. Simultaneously, public-private partnership frameworks were established, and even in earlier times, there had been sector-specific financing institutions in the infrastructure arena. The notable ones are the Rural Electrification Corporation Limited, set up in 1969, the Housing and Urban Development Corporation Limited, set up in 1970, the Power Finance Corporation, set up in 1986, as well as the Indian Railway Finance Corporation, set up in 1986. In the last 2 decades, a number of private non-banking financial companies and private equity funds have also become quite active in funding infrastructure projects. Many global long-term institutional investors have also come in. Moreover, a new generation of capital market instruments have come into existence, such as real estate investment trust, REITs, and infrastructure investment trusts, InvITs. With all this, it is suffice to say that the India is well poised now to actualize happily the funding capacity, the financing capacity to build infrastructure projects, and that is almost shaping up to be able to fund around 22 lakh crores per annum of infrastructure projects as envisaged by the National Infrastructure Plan, NIP. This capacity, this financial capacity, could broadly be construed to be made up of the union budgetary outlay, as in the last budget, of 7.5 lakh crores, investment from all the states together, 6 lakh crores, public sector undertakings, extra budgetary resources, National Bank for Financing Infrastructure Development, and domestic and foreign capital, including bilateral and multilateral. All these together add up to 20 to 22 lakh crores. Thus, it is most appropriate that the focus is shifting from financial efforts to far greater focus on project execution, and that is the need of the hour. However, in stark contrast to financing capacity, the ground realities on project execution are quite grim. An update as on December 2021 from the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation covers 1,679 projects. These are central sector projects, each costing 150 crores or more across 10 areas: roads, railways, power, petroleum, urban development, coal, water, atomic energy, steel, and telecommunication. Of these number of projects, 11 are ahead of schedule, 292 are on schedule, 541 are delayed, and then there are 835 projects where neither the year of commissioning nor the expected date of completion is available. And that is simply not acceptable. The original cost of implementation of these projects together was about 23 lakh crores, and the anticipated cost to completion is about 27 lakh crores, thus showing a cost overrun of 4 to 5 lakh crores, which is 20% of the original cost. So as you can see, focus on project execution is not only timely, but extremely necessary. It is not that the government is not seized of the enormity of the problem. The online computerized monitoring system, OCMS, maintained by the Infrastructure and Project Monitoring Division of the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, has been in existence for quite some time. But the grouse of the ministries that the concerned project execution agencies do not upload their milestone achievements or failures regularly. The Project Management Group, PMG, was first set up as a special cell in the Cabinet Secretariat in the last 2 years of the UPA to push stalled projects. They did sterling work, and it was subsequently brought under the administrative control of the Prime Minister's office in 2015. In 2019, the PMG was merged with the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. It is now known as the Project Monitoring Invest India Cell, PMIIC. The eSuvidha Project Management System, EPMS, under the PMIIC monitors a database of mega projects from both public and private sector investments. There is also the platform called Pragati. It is an acronym for Proactive Governance and Timely Implementation in the PMO. This platform, introduced in 2015, reviews important programs and projects of the central government as well as projects flagged by the state government. Recognizing the mounting problem, the Quality Council of India, QCI, launched in October 2020 the National Program and Project Management Policy Framework, targeted at bringing radical reforms in the way infrastructure projects are executed in India. Its key recommendations included setting up of a National Institute of Chartered Program and Project Professionals under the QCI. Point number 2, it suggested developing a technical repository of best implementation practices called the Indian Infrastructure Body of Knowledge. 3, a 4-level certification system for project implementation professionals and a slew of capacity building measures. Finally, the 2 recent technologically driven platforms, Gati Shakti and the National Single Window System for Online Clearances and Permissions, are powerful tools to positively impact project implementation. In early November this year, Niti Aayog was mandated with the task to monitor energy and infrastructure, and it has shortlisted 494 projects worth 5.7 lakh crores to be rigorously completed by March 2023. The projects have already incurred expenditure of about 4 lakh crores, and the anticipated expenditure for completion this fiscal year is pegged at 1.8 lakh crores. So even Niti Aayog has now been brought into the system to focus on project execution and project implementation. Niti has suggested that some 116 infrastructure projects worth 1.26 lakh crores could be shut down due to unresolved obstacles ranging from land acquisition to center-state tussles. While these projects have incurred a cumulative capital expenditure of 20,000 crores, the center is seriously considering the possibility of finally pulling the plug on them, which is a good and unusual step for a government agency because India has rarely seen conscious decisions on stopping projects that are going nowhere. So we have a battery of institutional reform formats to address the historic problem of chronic delays in project execution, and hopefully these are collectively going to radically improve matters. We wish them luck, and we shall monitor and see how these measures impact project execution. But it is crystal clear that the focus has rightfully shifted from financing issues to a rigorous analysis of project execution and project implementation. Thank you.